Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
Hey, this is the very good Dr. Glenn Livingston with defeatyourcravings.com. I am here with a kind-hearted woman named Madeline, who has agreed to let us share this recording with you so that you can benefit from her experience and strength and hope and wisdom, as well as her trials and tribulations and stumbles and falls. Right, Madeline?
Right.
I've also got with me today my entire master coaching team, so we can give you the full power of the brain trust. I have Yvonne and Fiona and Amy. How are you guys?
Doing great today.
Yep, good.
Ready and waiting.
Okay. Okay, Madeline. So tell me a little bit about what your story with food has been, and most importantly, what you're struggling with now, what we might be able to help you with.
I'm struggling with sweets, with desserts, and they give me a high when I eat them. And I can't have one. I'll have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, just like an alcoholic. So I've had this problem ever since I was 13. I experienced something traumatic then. I just eat tons of sugar and I go to it for just because it gives me a high. My doctor many years ago prescribed an opiate blocker for me. And when I took that, it decreased the dopamine. So I didn't get so much of a high. So I could have sweets. And it's like, oh, they tasted good, but I didn't want to have more than one. However, the opiate blocker, I got bad side effects. So I don't want to take that. I want to be able to just do this on my own. But that's just to tell you how it does give me a high.
Well, it gives everyone a high. It's an unnatural concentration of calories that doesn't really exist in nature. Our brains are wired to look for that. The more you build those automated habit loops, the harder they are to break.
Right. Yes.
So what do you want to do about this?
I would like to be sugar-free for the rest of my life. And I know that if I was sugar-free, I would be at a very healthy weight. Right now, when I'm eating sugar, I feel a lot of shame because I am overweight from it. And it limits my life. I don't go to events because I don't want people to see me. If I do athletics, I'm a lot slower than my friends. I don't like that. I just have a lot of shame and I don't do things and I isolate and it's not good for my health.
So you said that you want to be sugar-free. What does that mean? You specifically know what that means, what you would eat and what you wouldn't eat?
Yes, I would just be eating low glycemic fruit, like berries or just anything low glycemic.
So the only sweet tastes that you'd ever eat again would be low glycemic fruits.
Yes.
Well, that wouldn't be the only thing you ate, period. There would be other things that you ate, yes?
Oh, I could eat anything. It's just I don't overeat anything else. It's just sweets that aren't low glycemic is what I overeat.
Okay. So low glycemic fruits. What's your diet like otherwise?
Pretty healthy. Sometimes I'll have eggs for breakfast or I will have Greek Chobani non-fat plain yogurt with a whole bunch of blueberries. Maybe for lunch, I might have a salad with chicken. For dinner, I might have a bean burrito. I pretty much just eat fish and chicken or beans, nuts. I'm like a pescatarian, but I will eat chicken. So I eat pretty healthy. It's just desserts. I eat probably an extra 3,000 calories every day of desserts.
You're eating enough vegetables and...
Yes, I love salads.
Okay. Have you reviewed things with a dietitian or a nutritionist just to be sure?
I did a while ago. And yeah, she said that I eat healthy. It's just this problem with sweets.
You're not supposed to have the sugar. Okay. I've worked with you before, and I think that we did an awful lot of work and you kind of came up with a rule that you wanted to follow, but you didn't want to commit to it yet.
Right.
So I'd just like to understand that process a little more before we dig in and try to work on the rule. What do you think it would take to get you to commit to? It sounds like you're pretty sure this is where you need to be, but you've got this other part of you that really doesn't want to commit. I'm just kind of wondering, what are your thoughts about that? What's stopping you from actually committing and doing this?
My main problem is just this thought, feeling, emotion of wanting to get high in the moment. And I think I was telling you that other things give me a high, like snow skiing down a steep slope, going fast. I used to race, I used to be a ski racer. Mountain biking on a trail, going fast. Swimming in the lake. I love swimming. Those types of things give me a high, but I can't do them right now. Whereas with sugar, if there isn't anything in my house, I'll go to the store and I'll get it, but I can have it right now. And that is the problem. There's nothing else that in the moment gives me so much pleasure.
Recovering, overcoming overeating sugar for you is going to involve letting go of that intensity of pleasure.
Yes.
Letting go of thinking of food as a drug and actually using it for pleasure like that.
Yes.
And so you're trying to come to terms with the idea that you're really not going to get that intensity of immediately available pleasure. You might still be able to go swimming or mountain biking or skiing, but that's not always available. And you're trying to come to terms with adjusting to a life without that immediate high.
Right.
Okay. Fiona, Yvonne, Amy, do you have any questions or thoughts for Madeline before we dig into this a little more?
Yeah, I have a question. Madeline, could you share with us, aside from obviously having too much sugar, how, and we know what you're eating aside from that, can you share with us how you know you're eating enough of those foods? Like you're not under eating those foods and then binging on the sugar?
Well, you do have a point there because when I do, let's say if I eat a couple thousand calories worth of sugar, then I won't eat as much of the healthier foods. So if I'm eating healthy foods and sugar, it ends up being about 5,000 calories a day, which is way over what I need to be eating. So then sometimes I'll just not eat as much healthy food so I can get the sugar in. So if I do eat the healthy, it's still a problem.
On days when you don't have sugar, how much healthy food do you eat?
On days that I don't have sugar.
You don't have days that you don't have sugar?
No.
So you're having about 2,000 calories of healthy food and 2,000 calories of sugar every day?
2,000 to 3,000 calories of sugar every day.
And how much healthy food are you eating every day?
Maybe 1,500 calories.
Have you ever tried eating 2,000 or 2,200 calories of healthy food and not having the sugar?
Well, okay, so in the morning, I tend to eat sugar throughout the day. So if I have, let's say, a couple eggs and a piece of whole wheat toast for breakfast, then I will have a whole bunch of sugar. And then I'm not really hungry for lunch. I'll eat something healthy later in the day, and then I'll have a whole bunch of sugar. I don't know if I'm answering your question properly. It's just that the sugar is getting in the way of the eating healthy because I eat so much sugar. Because like I said, I don't have one, I have 5.
Well, that's true, but it might also be that not eating enough healthy food is getting in the way of you letting go of the sugar.
Right. Yeah, I see your point.
That's what Yvonne is saying. Maybe it's working both ways.
Right.
I have not quite a question, maybe more of a comment. Madeline, it sounds to me this is the hidden squeal that I'm hearing, that you wish you wanted to give up sugar, but you don't.
Right.
So you don't actually want to give up sugar, and that is the issue.
Well, I do want to give it up because my life is crappy. I mean, I isolate. I don't go to events that people invite me to. All these fun events, I don't go because I don't want people to see me. I look in the mirror and I'm like, yuck.
Right, I get that. I mean, I know that you have lots of good reasons why you should want to, but in fact, it feels to me like you don't really want to.
Exactly. You're right.
And does your pig say that unless and until you really want to give it up, you're not going to give it up?
Um, yeah.
Is it possible for you to give it up even though you don't want to?
Yes, I've done it before. I've done it twice before for the last 50 years for 4 months. And during that time, I felt so wonderful. So, sugar does, for 5 minutes, it gives me this high. But when I've gone sugar free for 4 months, okay, I didn't get the 5 minutes of high, but I felt so good the whole day. That's something that I tell myself, okay, you won't get the high, but you feel so much better. And you go to your events, you do your sports, you look in the mirror and you like what you see.
What motivated you to make the decision to give it up for 4 months?
Well, it's usually around this time of year. We're getting into spring and it's starting to get warmer. And I'm thinking about not covering up with clothes. And it starts to really stress me. It's like, I don't want to be big. You wear less clothes in the summer. I can't really hide. And that is a motivator. So I think, come on, you've got to do something.
Hmm. Okay, so the inability to hide because you want to get out and do stuff for the summer.
Right.
And you enjoy your athletics more when you're thinner?
Oh, much, much, much.
Can I ask another? Maybe it's a dumb question.
I like dumb questions.
Madeline, you said it gives you a high. Why is it so important to have a high?
It's just pleasure. I mean, people seek pleasure. Maybe because in my life, well, I mean, that's a really good question. I don't know. It just makes me feel good.
Have you made active efforts to make yourself feel good in other ways?
I see what you're getting at. I mean, when I'm really busy in my life, right now, I'm not as busy. So when I'm really busy doing things that I enjoy, I recently retired. So right now it's kind of difficult because I have a lot more time and that's not good. I do remember a time when I was doing some work that I really enjoyed. And at the time, I was on a ski racing team and I was happier and I didn't eat as much sugar. So I think you're right. I mean, if I'm doing a lot more things that make me happy, then I'm less likely to eat sugar. But right now, because I'm heavy, I don't want to participate in anything.
It's a negative snowball. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Fiona, could you ask a couple of questions and see if you can get us a different angle? I'm still looking for the right way in.
So, Madeline, I'm wondering, you said that cutting yourself off from from going to events and being slower at athletics, feelings of shame, the feelings of isolation, are any of these pleasurable? Because the pig says that the sugar is giving you pleasure, but these are the things that it's holding you back from.
Yes. Yes. No, sugar is the only thing that I'm really getting pleasure from right now.
So, a very short-term pleasure.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm not getting any pleasure from anything else. I am getting some pleasure from other things, not as much pleasure.
Do you think that the sugar that you're ingesting is clouding your judgment on making decisions? The decision of where it fits in your life?
I mean, probably because sugar is not good for you, and the amount of sugar that I eat every day probably is. I mean, like going out and taking a walk in nature, that brings happiness. It doesn't give me the high, but doing that, reading a really good book does, being with friends. There are things that do. It's just that sugar gives me such a high, and I can have it right in the moment.
You've also mentioned that the activities that you do give you a high as well.
Yes.
How does it feel to nourish your body for those kinds of activities?
You mean so when I'm doing athletic things, how does my body feel?
Hmm.
Oh, it feels wonderful.
Is there a way to focus on the nutrition that you get? I know I'm going back to nutrition again, but for the activity levels that you want, obviously, it might be seasonal. There might be different seasons for different activities. But if you're nourishing your body well and you're making sure you're getting enough nourishment, could you crowd out the sugar? I'm wondering if there's a way to stair step down the sugar. I don't think you want that. I think you want it completely gone.
I see your point, but I don't think I can stair step it down because, for instance, okay, if I take you through a day, I'll have, say, eggs in the morning, and then maybe I'll have two big cinnamon rolls
With the eggs?
right after I've had the eggs.
Oh, how many calories do you think you're getting with the eggs? I know you're probably not a calorie counter. I'm just trying to gauge how much you're eating.
So with the eggs, I am a calorie counter. The eggs and I'll have eggs, toast, and then I'll probably have some blueberries. So eggs, that's 160, probably 260 with the bread. And then berries, maybe some milk. I don't know, maybe like 400 calories.
I'm wondering if you're eating enough at breakfast,
That seems like a pretty big breakfast.
except for right after that, you go for something else that's sugary.
Well, I'm not hungry after that. I'm full, but I want to get that high. Maybe I'll eat just the frosting from the cinnamon roll, just something just to give me the high, and then I'll continue to eat. I'm not hungry when I eat sugar, but I eat it anyway just to get the high, and then I'm really full.
Madeline, what was it that attracted you to defeat your cravings and to do this call in particular? Why did you think that would be able to help?
Just the whole idea about the fact that you've got like two voices in your head. Right now, the pig is really loud, and the true me is very quiet. And the pig is just ruling things and just saying, I want sugar now. And the true me is saying, no, I want to be happy. I want to be out, doing sports, feeling really good, being confident, having high self esteem. So the fact that you were talking about the different voices in your head and the one being a pig or a monster, I think that's totally right. And the pig is ruling my life.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. Do you know that the way to overcome that, because that debate will go on forever. There's always going to be another reason why this is not the right time, where you can't make a commitment, you should put it off, you can't do it, you're going to miss the high too much. The way to overcome that is to make a real commitment. I think you wanted to make a commitment for Tuesday, if I remember you
Yes.
correctly.
And then to go 10 days.
hmm When you make that real commitment, then you very sharply separate those two voices. Otherwise, the debate will go on forever. You've made a commitment. What was the rule again? I'm forgetting exactly what we did.
The rule is no sweets except low glycemic fruit.
For 10 days starting on Tuesday.
Right.
Okay. What's it been like for you since you made that rule and committed to start it on Tuesday?
That's what I'm planning on doing.
And has the pig been any louder or softer? Have you had any new thoughts, any new refutations?
The pig's like, okay, Tuesday, that's a little ways away. Let's keep eating our sweets.
Yeah. Do you feel confident that come Tuesday morning at 12:01 a.m. that you're going to be able to jump on the bandwagon?
Yes, because right now where I live, it's sunny, warm weather, and we haven't had this for a while. Summer's around the corner, and I look in the mirror, and it's just like, you got to do something. And I'm doing this program, and yeah, I'm going to. And also, I've been seeing a trainer 3 times a week at my gym. That helps me when I go. I have great workouts. After it, I feel wonderful. I'm going to do it. I've done this before, though, and I'm just afraid of the pig squeal saying, okay, you can do 10 days. Okay. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll go your 4 months and you'll lose all your weight. But I'm here, and you can get a high by eating sugar, blah, 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 blah. I can see myself doing the 10 days, and then because it's getting warmer here and sunnier, and I can see myself doing the 4 months. But then I'm really afraid, because I've had this problem for most of my life, that I'm going to go back. I need to get my true voice much louder than the pig's voice and put the pig in the cage and keep him in the cage.
Well, you know that when it comes to overeating, behind every fear is a wish. So when you say that I'm afraid that in 10 days or 4 months that I'm just going to go back to where I was, what that means is the pig is planning to go back to where you were. It's got a specific plan. Does that make sense to you? The pig does, not you.
Right. Because I'm saying I wish.
You're saying you're afraid. You're really afraid that you can do it for 10 days or maybe you can do it for 4 months.
Right.
But then after that, the pig's going to come back out.
Could come back out, yes.
That anxiety, I'm telling you, it's safer to understand that as a pig's wish and a pig's plan.
Okay, I see.
And then you say, well, what specifically is the pig planning on doing? And you can make a counter plan.
Okay.
Madeline, the other thing you can do is you can tell yourself that the pig is predicting, it's prognosticating that you're going to be weaker in 4 months because the summer will be over or almost over. And actually, it won't be, it'll be 6 months. But the pig is predicting that you're going to be weaker and have less impulse control, less ability to resist it. But the truth is that you don't really have to worry about the future. You only have to worry about now, because bringing it back to the present and being binge free now, using the present moment to be healthy, it's like flexing your now muscle. And the more you use a muscle, the stronger it gets. So the truth is that if you keep on executing your binge free now muscle, then in the future, it's going to be stronger, not weaker. You're going to be stronger in 6 months than you are now. And you can tell the pig that. It can't fool you. It's using a time machine. It doesn't have a time machine. And it thinks you're going to be weaker, but you're going to be stronger.
Okay, that's good. I'm going to be stronger, pig. Okay.
If you just keep on flexing the binge free now muscle, if you commit to this and you do it and you keep flexing that muscle, you're going to get stronger. That makes sense, right?
Yes.
What is it that you need the most help with? Are there other squeals that you're struggling with? Is it your motivation? It sounds like you have strong motivation. Forgive me, my master coaches, I'm not going in the traditional format today because we had a whole session the other day. Where do you need the most help?
Making my pig's voice smaller and making my true self, making that loud. Like right now, from 1 to 10, my life is probably a 2. Saying, I want a 10 life or even a 9 life. That's what I deserve, and that's what I'm going to get. Making my true voice louder.
And the way that you would like me to help you do that is by amplifying your motivation, helping you to identify more of the squeals and refute them. Something else?
I can't think right now. What else? Maybe how to handle stressful situations, because that's what happened the last time. So I was doing really well a year ago. I was doing really well for like 4 months. And then 2 major stressors happened, like major. And then instantly I thought, I need sugar to make myself feel good. I can't deal with this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the pig says the only way to deal with stress is to binge on sugar.
The one thing that will give me that high in the moment is sugar, and that's what I need. One thing that will comfort me, supposedly, even though it doesn't.
And so is it true that it's the only thing that could comfort you?
Well, it doesn't comfort me. It ruins my life. Talking to friends, talking to my boyfriend.
What does the pig say will happen if you don't have sugar when you're feeling so stressful?
I'll stay stressed.
Yeah. Do you feel less stressed after you have sugar?
Yeah.
You do. And does talking to your friends, or I forget the other things that you said, do any of these other things make you feel less stressed?
Yes. Going for a walk in nature. I'm a big nature lover. Actually, that helps even more because when I knew that my father was going to pass away, I found out, I drove up to the mountains and by myself and just took a hike in the old growth trees, around old growth trees, and that calmed me down like nothing else.
Mm-hmm. I love nature too. The woods and the mountains. I love that.
Yeah, so there we go. There's a good answer. Go to nature.
Is there some way that you could regularly infuse more nature into your life while you're trying to get the sugar out of your life?
Yes, there's some BBC shows that I watch. There's a bunch of shows that I watch, nature shows. Spring Watch, Gardener's World, those types of things that make me feel good.
Any local parks or rivers or anything you can walk around?
Yes.
You have a list someplace? You know how to get to them. You know what's close. You know what's far.
Oh, yeah.
So we could emphasize nature during these 10 days to really get you off the sugar.
Yes.
So it's not true that sugar is the only thing that's going to make you feel better. It might be the easiest, quickest thing that can make you feel better, but it's not the only thing that'll make you feel better.
Right. I think I told you before that I used to have an alcohol problem, and my mother's passed, and when she was very, very ill and she was getting close to passing, I remember being in the store and looking at the cabinet full of wine and thinking, no, you don't want to go there. That's going to make things worse. And that was pretty big for me. And so that's the way I need to look on sugar. It's like, you don't want to go there. That's going to make things worse. This is really good, this conversation we're having right now.
Tell me more. What is it you like about it? What feels so helpful to you?
It's helping me to see different ways. I mean, I forgot about when I found out my dad was going to pass, driving up to the mountains and going for the walk and being around old growth trees, and how that really helped me. You can go to nature to calm yourself down. Sugar is going to make things worse. So just thinking in those terms. Oh, and then the other thing is with the alcohol, with my mom was getting close to dying, being in the store with the alcohol, and then realizing at the time, no, that's going to make things worse. So those two things, you got me to think those things. And it's just like, yep.
You've faced this before. You've been in very stressful situations, extraordinary. I don't know what's more stressful than having your parents pass away. And you've had your pig say, you need this immediate high in order to get through it.
Right. I didn't go to sugar for those things.
You didn't go to sugar. You didn't go to wine. You went to nature.
Yes.
You said you don't want to go there.
That makes things worse. Sugar will make things worse. Go to nature.
Can I make a comment, please?
Please.
I'm thinking, what if when the pig says you need to get high from sugar, you switch that and ask yourself, what can I do to stay calm? Because you've identified something that helps you calm down is beneficial, but the pig keeps telling you that you need a high, and it sounds like you're agreeing with the pig. So what about if you just adopt a new way of thinking and say, what can I do to stay calm in this situation? How can I calm myself down instead of constantly looking for that high?
That's a very good point. Thank you.
Even not just related to the stress, but, in day-to-day situations.
Right.
Fiona, I think that's a brilliant observation.
Yeah. I don't need to get high. I need to be calm.
What would you think about saying those words every time before you ate, before every meal? I don't need to get high. I need to find calm.
Right. Or peace.
Or peace. I need to find peace. Even better. When was it that your parents died?
My mom passed away 3 years ago from COVID.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
And then 2 weeks after that, the house I was in burned down.
My God, Madeline, that's awful.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. But even so, you were much better off not going to the wine, going to nature instead, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. How confident are you now that you're going to get through these 10 days?
Well, I'm definitely a lot more confident. This conversation has been enlightening. How confident about the 10 days? Very confident about the 10 days.
And are you sure you want to wait until Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay.
Although I may start Monday, but I don't know. Definitely by Tuesday.
Okay.
Is there something special about Tuesday, or is it just that you get the 3 more days of sugar?
It's just that I get 3 more days of sugar. And just time to process all this, because I'm going to listen to the recordings and just to process all of it.
Okay. Madeline, what questions or concerns do you have?
I don't have any right now.
Okay. Does anybody else want to say something before we turn off the recording?
I just want to tell Madeline, keep processing. I thought that you did really great today.
Thank you.
You've learned a lot already, and I think this call was really revealing for you. Well done.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you all.
Amy, Fiona, anything else?
I wonder, Madeline, if you might be able to, I don't know if this would help you, but maybe you could try saying, I am not the pig.
That's good. I am not the pig.
Smart idea. Reinforces separation.
Very good. I am not the pig. That's very, very good. You guys are so smart.
Fiona, anything else?
No, just well done, Madeline.
Thank you.
Okay.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. That's defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. Thanks.